streaming. I'm going to start the recording. If things get, I mean, we got a big agenda. Maybe we can agree if it seems right, we have a hard stop at 10 o'clock versus going till 10:59 like we did last time.
Right.
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, that was awful.
That's it. It's pretty
All right, so Al, do you want me to share the agenda? It is recording. We have a quorum at 7:06 p.m. It is May 23rd, 2023. This is the full board meeting of Community Board 11 in the Bronx. Would you like me to? What?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay. So we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let me stop and share something else. Let me share. I'm going to share. So we have a flag. Only oral. Please, everybody, mute yourself. And oral will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know if Chris or somebody could press mute all and then have oral recite the Pledge of Allegiance since he's the Sergeant at Arms. Oral?
Yeah, it's okay. I was muted for a minute. Sorry about that. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, next is the moment of silence, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm going to share the agenda just so it's clear for everybody.
Okay.
There it is.
We're about to have a moment of silence for all our fallen first responders and medical and military service personnel and those suffering throughout the world. Okay, thank you.
Okay, tell me when you're ready to start the timing. And I forgot to put the issue for Mr. Press. He did state his issue, but he is the first to register with us. The issue was board member attendance. I just forgot to put that on the agenda, but I don't know if he's in the meeting, Mr. Press, at this moment.
Yes, I am. And since I haven't gotten the board member attendance, there were a couple other issues.
Okay, so like I said, at leadership, it is on our website. The March one was there. I said April would be up by yesterday at the latest. It is up.
I didn't
So
see
if you
it.
scroll down further on agenda, maybe just for everybody's edification, when you go to the minutes, it says draft. I have a watermark, so you know it's not final. And here's where you got the attendance for the board members, at least for the full board. Committee, we have to.
April is not there, Jeremy.
This is for March.
Okay.
This is just an example.
Okay.
If you go to April, you will find April there. So you click here on April. See? April. Okay.
Well, it's just, I didn't have time to read it, so let me continue.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. Whenever you're ready, Oral.
Okay, go to 2 minutes and 30-second warning.
Okay. The city charter, section 2801, item B, whenever an act is authorized to be done on or any determination, the decision made by any community board, the act determination, the decision of the majority of the members present entitled to vote during the presence of a quorum shall be held to be the act determination decision of such board. And as a member of the Community Board 8 bylaw committee, we had to change our bylaws to eliminate a supermajority, which I saw was on the agenda tonight, to have the bylaws go to a 2/3 vote to be in line, and to be in line with section 2801, that is against the city charter. So you need only a majority, not a supermajority, as what 2/3 is. Just so everybody knows, on Friday, I will be changing the name of my Facebook page from New Friends of Community Board 11, even though I don't have to do it. That is because of the revival of the Friends of Community Board 11, which I must say there is a Facebook page of the same name that is promoting politics and political candidates, including solicitation of donations to city council candidates for matching funds. At least one candidate in this city council district, of which CB11 is a part of. There is also the administrator of said page is a member of the social media committee. So I asked, is that page the Friends of Community Board 11 related to the committee, the Friends of Community Board 11 by the
30
same name,
seconds.
Mr. District Manager? And lastly, as a former ethics committee member of Community Board 11, I find it unusual that a board member with a complaint against them by a committee chair is hearing said complaint about them and did not recuse himself also on the basis of a conflict of interest from hearing a complaint on the chair, since he is the chair's city council treasurer, which is a clear conflict of interest. That's all. If anybody has any questions on what I've just said, I'd be happy to answer them.
Perfect. 2 minutes.
Okay. Cynthia Rodriguez has her hand raised.
Yes, to inquire regarding the bylaws. I just as a point of information, I did review the April bylaws. I took a look at the 2010 Community Board Handbook, which was updated in 2014, the City Charter, Section 2801, and the Guide to Parliamentary Procedure for Community Boards. And basically all of those are in agreement with what Mr. Press said as far as majority. And so I do, I agree with Mr. Press's statement. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. That's a good point. I don't recall him being a member of the ethics committee of Community Board 11, but
Community Board 8.
oh, you said 8. Well, you said 11, but I think you said 11. Maybe you misspoke. Okay. All right, thank you. Anything else? If not, we got our next gallery session speaker. Well, the one on the agenda, I was informed, will not be here tonight, Mr. Grant. So we will move, unless somebody by chance he appears, we will move on to, I believe Roxanne Delgado is next. I don't know if she's present.
Can you skip me for a second? I have to helping someone sign in.
Okay, we
I'm
can come
sorry.
back. Is Charlene Jackson Mendez available?
She's on her way. She needs 5 minutes. She's on her way home.
Okay, Jenny Lopez. Or Diana Finch.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, wait 1 second. I think we may have skipped Jenny Lopez is before Diana on the agenda.
No, I called
He
her name.
did
She
call
didn't-
her name.
didn't
Oh, sorry.
respond. So we'll come back to her if she comes in time. Diana?
Diana, okay,
Sure.
2 minutes, 30-second warning. Go ahead.
Thanks. Speaking as a CB11 resident, the dispensary, I was going to speak in favor, but found that the Office of Cannabis Management Guidance prohibits locations 500 feet or less from school grounds, which I think rules out the proposed location. I would like to urge the board not to object to the Pelham Parkway Mall's design for Site A without more discussion with the Parks Department and a walkthrough, not a drive-by. It's very hard to evaluate the design from a diagram. The only trees removed are ones that are diseased, with a few transplanted. As per Parks policy, any trees removed are replaced. And yes, we could even ask for more trees. We tried very hard during the Pelham Parkway reconstruction to get a soccer area added, but we're told only passive recreation is allowed on a parkway. Any sports field near a road requires high fencing, which cannot be added to a parkway mall. For the path to nowhere and the benches along it on the south side by Mulliner, the Parks Preservationist rules on any changes, so we can ask Parks why they're planning removal instead of an upgrade. A wider north-south crossover path by Bronxwood would accommodate more benches because they can directly face each other, and room for a drinking fountain with a dog bowl where dogs and their humans are sure to congregate. Runners and bikers have already worn paths in the grass along the paved east-west Greenway path because the paved path is not wide enough for all the current use.
30 seconds.
As a result, there's a lot of sand and dirt on the path, making it slippery. I saw a young kid on a push scooter skid and fall the other night because of the sand. So we have an enthusiastic green light from the Bronx Parks Chief of Staff to join with Partnership for Parks, the Allerton Homeowners Association, Pelham Parkway Neighborhood Association, and Open Hand to organize a cleanup and sweep the entire path clear from Bronxwood to Stillwell.
Okay,
And
thank
we
you,
hope
Dan.
that
That's it.
board members and the community will all join us. Thank you.
Okay.
And there's a slight, I know there's somebody pointed out there's an error with the motion to object to the cannabis dispensary. We're objecting on the basis of the location, and if that's true what you said, Diana, thank you very much for that. Justin Credible, is he present? Ava Montero?
Jenny Lopez is on the line.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Jenny Lopez? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. What,
Yeah,
what, are you ready? Oral?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jenny, 2 minutes, 30-second warning. Okay, Jenny, go ahead,
you.
proceed.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to make a comment about the pathway on Pelham Parkway North and Wallace from Williamsbridge. Not to widen it. The reason is that we will lose greenery. And if you widen it, you'll have more motorcycles that could hurt the pedestrians there and the pets that walk there as well. So widening it is a danger to the pedestrians, in my view. I also believe that we should fix the potholes that are there and plant more trees and flowers because it is a parkway, and we should make that as beautiful as possible and remove dangerous items from there. The other situation I'd like to talk about is to leave the seating on Wallace Avenue and Pelham Parkway South, as there are many seniors who use it to sit there and enjoy the shade area that is close to their homes. If it's changed, these seniors will have not a place to go or not a safe place to go, and they've been accustomed to using this place. So I really want to make sure that you hear those 2 points. We use this park frequently, and I think it's important for the board to know.
That's it, Jenny?
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, all right, so we'll go to the next guy, session speaker. I do see some member of the public with their hand up. If you have something you want to say to us, just say it in the chat, please. In the meantime, so Justin Credible, Ava Montero, Charlene Slater, I thought I saw in. Charlene, are you there?
Hi. Yes. Good
Go ahead,
evening,
ma'am.
everyone. So I am going to make probably some of the same points that you
30-second warning,
just.
Charlene.
Oh, so sorry.
No, you can go.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm going to make some of the same points that the previous person made, with an emphasis on the Pelham Parkway South area of Pelham Parkway and Wallace, where the seniors are, they congregate. They've been doing that since I can remember, since that seating has been there. And sometimes change isn't always needed if something is really heavily used and loved. So if you could consider leaving that as is. The other thing that I think is important is planting more trees, keeping as much greenery as we can instead of asphalt, right? We live in the city of asphalt. Let's just try to keep as much greenery as we possibly can. And if they're thinking of widening, and I don't know if that's the case, please just keep the greenery spots as they are. We need them. And then there's the Pelham Parkway North, between Wallace to Williamsbridge. I think they want to add an extra little trail there. If that's the case, it's not. I don't think it's important to do that. And I think that's it. I think I covered everything. And thanks for giving me time.
Yeah, thank you, Charlene.
Debbie, do you know if they are going to widen? Is that a proposal? I think we should, if that's true, we should dispel that right away. If that's not true or true, they plan on widening the path?
If I recall, they were trying to talk of doing some widening. I don't have the plan in front of me, but I believe they were planning to do some widening. And we didn't want them to widen it. We wanted them to just rehab the existing path.
Okay. All right. Eileen, Marcus, are you still in?
Eileen?
I was
Gloria
I was
Russo.
muted.
Oh,
I was
okay, go ahead,
muted.
Eileen.
Okay.
Okay, Eileen,
Okay.
2 minutes
yes,
and a 30-second warning. Okay, Eileen.
Yes,
Okay, go.
I agree with the last the people that were speaking, that they should leave the seating on Wallace Avenue and Pelham Parkway South. It's been there a long time, and it's being used with seniors and everybody. It's shady, and I think it should remain there. And also that they shouldn't widen the pathway from Pelham Parkway North and Wallace to Williamsbridge, because I feel that will attract more bicycles, mopeds, and they'll use it as a walkway, as a shortcut. And those vehicles make it dangerous for pedestrians, children, seniors, pets, pretty much everybody. I brought that up previously, that I feel those vehicles are dangerous. So not to widen that path. And we want to preserve the lawn and instead fix potholes and plant more trees and flowers. And more construction, to me, is disruptive and pollutes the air. I think
30 seconds.
And yeah, that's pretty much that I think we have to just be mindful of the motorbikes that are around, and they're dangerous, and so I don't think that move would work well.
Okay. Thank you, Eileen.
I thank you for letting me speak.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just note that Joe McManus put his contact info in the chat. He's representing Congressman Torres. I don't think he put that in the chat, but that's who he's representing. And then we do have the Cannabis Emporium that the gentleman who raised his hand, he put his information in the chat. All right, so Ms. Delgado, are you prepared to speak?
Yes, thank you. Before, I was just trying to help people sign on, but two people still have difficulties, so I could only do so much. But
Which two, if you don't mind telling us?
Justin, I've been texting him back and forth, and every time I text him, it mutes the meeting, so I can't text anymore because I'm not able to hear what people are saying.
Okay, and you said there are two people. Who's the other person? Just so we know.
Ava, I think it was her. I'm not sure if that's her because someone was texting me, but I don't know the name to that
so
text number.
we'll try to call on them again.
All right, sorry. So let me know when I can start, please.
Absolutely. Okay.
And I'm here just in case.
Okay, Charlene. Thank you.
We'll come back. I'll go through the list again. All right.
Yeah. Okay, Roxanne, you can start.
A 30-second warning, please. Hi, I'm speaking as the founder of Friends of Pelham Parkway, who's been cleaning the parkway for 7 years, and who have been our efforts for Parkway has made such improvement that's been recognized not by only media, but also our local residents, some who have attended this meeting. I have to say many residents, especially seniors, do not want the seating move because it will put an undue burden on them, on their ability to walk further, and also to seek more shade, which that is just why they sit on the south side. It's more quiet and peaceful for them. They need a place for serenity. So we cannot deprive our seniors of seating, which they have been using for such a long time. Now, regarding widening the pathway, Parks in the meeting did say that over 75% of the people in the community input wanted more greenery, more tree, and less asphalt or less concrete. And in fact, the park said that they want to add more greenery, but for some reason they want to widen the pathway, which will take away the greenery from our little strip of grass and also endanger our pedestrian because we don't have conflict with bikes or pedestrians. We have conflict with illegal vehicles like motorcycles, mopeds, and even e-scooters that go beyond 20 miles per hour. I think by making widening, not only you're depriving the people of the greenery, but you're also putting us at risk. And more importantly, I think the committee chair or committee co-chair said, fix the potholes. That's a dangerous thing. We have so many potholes. Forget about flooding. People are tripping at night over the potholes. That should be a priority because I have seen, and myself, when I was running the day, I tripped over on a pothole. Thankfully, I didn't hurt myself. It just hurt my knee. But we really, really need to fix those potholes. That's a priority. That should be the main priority for the safety of all users of the parkway, regardless if they live there or not. And I hope you listen to all the residents that I think they joined. I don't know, I couldn't hear what they say, but based on what I spoke to people, they do not agree with widening the pathway. They say take away the greenery, and they want the seating where it remains. They said they want to replace the seating with new seats by all means, but we have gone through 5 years of
Okay.
reconstruction.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Let's give it a break. Again, I'm Friends of Park
Thank you,
Parkway.
Roxanne.
We've been cleaning the parkway for over 7 years weekly. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Charlene Jackson Mendez.
Hi,
Hey,
Hi.
Charlene.
how are you? Can I have
I'm
the?
doing good. You got two minutes, 30-second warning.
Yes, so I just wanted, I'm again coming from the perspective of love and gratitude for country and my community, especially at this time of the year since Memorial Day is coming up. And I'm thinking about the tens of thousands of men and now women who have lost their lives in order not to provide us with, housing and food and clothing and everything that we want, but to provide us with an opportunity to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. Sometimes it feels strange to speak at these meetings because I think many people have no personal connection to those sacrifices, and that makes me very sad. And that's why education is extremely important. During slavery, they didn't allow slaves to read for a reason. So I just hope that people will take time to appreciate the sacrifices that have been made for us all. Maybe read the Constitution and its history. I think the United States is the greatest experiment in self-governance that has ever existed. And we
30
are
seconds.
that is founded on the principle of placing emphasis on individual liberty. But with liberty comes responsibility. And our society cannot be healthy if we don't each take responsibility for ourselves and contribute what we can to our community. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Perfect.
Okay, so we'll go through a last round. Call for at least the registered people who registered in time for the gallery. So I think so. We already talked about Oscar, Justin, Ava, or Gloria. They registered. I don't know if they're in yet. Justin Credible, Ava Montero, and Gloria Russo. And
Sorry, Gloria Russo is in the participant. Please ask her to do *6, please.
Yeah, press *6 if you called in. If you're a caller in, to unmute yourself, it's *6. Gloria, *6 to unmute. Just gotta do it once. And I see a hand up from Kevin Deloya. He did ask to speak tonight. He didn't reach out to me till this morning. I did make 2 exceptions. I mean, we had the 36-hour rule for fully remote meetings. I made 2 exceptions yesterday. I don't know. It's up to the board if we want to make any more further exceptions. There was actually 3 people who wanted to register today. And I told them at this point, I generally only make 1 exception. The person, so Kevin's passing. Okay.
Okay, so Jeremy, did you get Justin and Ava and Gloria? Were they able to?
Well, I just called for Gloria. I asked her to *6.
Is she here at all? I don't see her
I-
name at all.
She's supposedly
Oh,
in.
sorry. She's saying she pressed *6 and you can't hear her. I'm texting her.
So let me see. She called in. Do you know what number?
Yes, I'm here. Can you
Right there.
hear me?
Yep.
Yes, Gloria, we can hear you now. Okay, 2 minutes, 30-second warning. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Good evening. Thank you for giving my time. I just want to speak about the pathway. In my opinion, we shouldn't have worked to make a bigger pathway in the park. I'd like to
to keep the pathway, the wideness that is now, and instead I would improve the pathway that we have, meaning fix all the pathway and also take care of the ground of the park, which seems very uneven in many places where they have been doing works. The ground has not been leveled. There are many sinkings in the green and sometimes holes. So I would prefer to see improvement in this way, and for sure I wouldn't like to have a bigger pathway at the cost of bringing down more trees. We have already had a lot of trees brought down, and I would like to have
30
more
seconds.
trees, and a lot of other people too would like to have more trees and more green, and please leave the benches for the elderly that have been there for who knows how long, and yes, less concrete, less asphalt, and more green, and more maintenance for the green that we have. That would be great.
Thank you.
That would be my
Gloria.
wish. Thank you for letting me speak.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna mute you now, Gloria. Unless
I'm
anybody
sorry,
has any-
Anthony's on the line too.
All right, I'm gonna mute Gloria unless anybody has any questions for Gloria.
Yes.
Who's on the line?
Anthony.
Who is Anthony?
Yeah, I didn't see Anthony. I heard Justin, Ava, and Kev. And is Kevin didn't
No,
register?
no, Kevin's passing. He said he's passing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an Anthony who registered.
Just Justin and Ava is what I remember. I recall.
Okay. And I know.
Anthony said he spoke to your office this morning because there was when he did
so
the link.
that's so he's one of
I'm
the
sorry.
three that was asking to register. It's up to the board at this point to make that exception.
Well, I mean, if Justin and Ava are not here, I think
I'd like to go to sleep tonight. So I
I
say
know. I
no
understand.
exceptions.
I understand. I understand.
So does anybody want to make a motion then to allow? At this point, you should allow Anthony.
No.
You allow Anthony and Kevin.
No, that's it. No.
Okay.
We have a long agenda.
Okay.
So I think most
But
people are saying no.
But Jeremy, hold on, because not everyone spoke, and I think, as Oral stated, there were a couple of people who didn't show. We're wasting more time debating this than if he had already spoken.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Then let's just take a. It's
It's
roll call
okay.
vote.
I mean, Jeremy, it's okay. We can just because Justin and Ava are not
We got
here.
a long
It's okay.
agenda.
No. Hold on. Let's just do a roll call vote. Let's make it simple
Okay.
because it's already divided. It's too
Okay.
divided. Is that okay?
That's
Let's
fine.
make it. Let's
I don't
vote.
even know what's going on.
So let me just explain. So we have 3 people who tried to register late in our bylaws.
Okay, he won't speak. He withdrew.
Okay. So Kevin's still passing then, I assume. All right. Yeah, if you can always submit stuff to us in writing after the fact.
But Jeremy, can we kind of like make it an emphasis to have people go through the committees first? So for some of these issues, they could have gone to the Parks Committee and had that rectified there and then bring it out to here so we could take action on it. But if we're all piling up in a full board meeting, that agenda, it takes up too much time.
Malcolm, a bunch of these people did come to our parks meeting and they were heard by us, but they also do want to make sure the full board hears their voice also. We heard them loud and clear, and they want to make sure all of you are heard by them.
Okay.
So
Did
the
they
other
have any
thing-
action items to request during that meeting?
Excuse me?
Did they request any action items?
Repeat that. I'm sorry. I didn't
I
hear.
said, did they request any actions to be taken by your committee?
Well, that's gonna be getting to the part when we're discussing in parks.
Okay.
The
Right now,
motion they
it's just the
made
gallery
was-
session.
Yeah. The motion
Right now,
you guys made, right, Debbie, is what they
Yeah.
requested.
right, exactly. And they're just saying their piece right now, because gallery session is before the committees speak.
Okay, let's move on to the next item since the point is moot. The gentleman declined, so let's just move on.
Yeah,
Right,
we
so
just
we
follow
got
the rules.
the
Can we
chair-
just follow the rules? Can we just follow the rules?
Yeah,
All right.
that's where I was going.
Right.
We need to like, if we're gonna have rules about speaking and things like that, then it needs to be adhered to.
Yeah, so, all right, so we're adhering to it. So let's move on. Chair's report, Al D'Angelo.
We have two proposals this evening. Proposal for Amendment 9 and Amendment 13, Articles 9 and 13 of the bylaws. The first one is the proposing amendment should be limited to twice a year. Do I have a second on that?
No, we're not voting on that. It's just.
We're not
it's
voting
just-
on it? Fine, okay.
No, it's just there, and then Mr. Press already said that there might be a legal issue with
Right,
two-thirds.
the second proposal, which says 2/3 majority of the board to the total membership is required for adoption. We will look into the legality of that before we go any further. And, that's it for the chairman's report. I just urge the
Al,
chairman.
this is David Levitt, can I ask a question?
Sure, David.
Who made the two bylaw changes that you requested?
I have no idea. This was just put on the agenda for.
Joanne Rubino.
Okay, thank you. And is Naomi in the meeting?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Naomi, you had sent me an email about two bylaw changes for adding diversity training and also
Yes.
press inquiries, but they need to be
Yes.
announced at a full board meeting before they can be considered by the committee.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first one was announced. We got to follow up on and get the other one together.
So which one was announced?
The diversity training that was announced last month.
Okay, so if Naomi can expand on the press inquiries and Al announces it tonight, then it can be considered by the bylaws committee.
Thank you, David.
Naomi,
Okay,
can you
so-
just- I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so in relation to the press inquiry, there were, as you know, for the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee, we had some hearings and it was leaked to the press. And I just want to see if we can have people on the committee, on the board, not exchange information with the press that's not validated as of yet. So there's a lot of things that we are doing that we are, like I said, the committee is a referring body. So things are not finalized at the committee level. And that needs to be understood by the press and by the board. It's not finalized. So why is information being sent to the press? And so that shouldn't happen. So that's what I'm asking for, a motion to have the ability for board members, public members, staff not to provide information to the press until whatever is finalized.
Thank you.
So that's a proposed amendment for your committee or for the board as a whole?
I would like it for both.
Yeah, I think that should be right for the board as a whole. I think until a final decision is made, nothing should be disseminated to the press until we have a final solution.
Well, if they
I
do
got-
foil us for information, though, that at some point, I mean, we're way behind on FOIL requests, but yeah, I can't stop that at some point. I mean, by the time they get it, it'll probably be.
You can't stop the press, but you can stop members of the community board from making or speaking to the press until a decision is
Yeah.
made.
I agree.
I got a question for David. David,
Yes.
is this the first time you're hearing of this 2/3 amendment thing?
This is the first that I'm hearing of it, yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
No, you received an email, David. I believe you did at least.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? Or we move on?
That's it for me. Again, I just asked the committees to keep their reports as short as possible so we can get out before midnight.
All right, Veronica, treasurer's report.
The person who I get some of the information for the treasurers was out last week on vacation. She just sent me the information this afternoon. So as soon as I finish, I have a couple questions on what she sent me. As soon as I get those answers, hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have the treasurer's report sent out to the, I'll have it emailed out to the board members and published on the website. Thank you.
Hazel could not attend tonight. But the minutes were published. I know there was a slight error with the April one with the economic development that was touched up today. It's just they were inverted to the motions or to the results. But other than that, they are live and they're good to go as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if anybody else got a chance. I know some people did read it. That's why they're able to point out those errors. So thank you for that. So that's March and April of this year, full board meeting minutes. So I don't know if everybody got a chance to look at them, if you want to vote on them. Otherwise, we vote on them next month. So motion or not to accept as drafted.
Make a motion, we accept that.
I second it.
Okay. So motion by Al, seconded by Debbie. Anybody against? Any abstentions? Any discussion? Anything wrong with them still?
Wait, are you discussing the minutes right now, right?
Yeah, April and March minutes.
Yeah, I did have a question. Could you clarify the committee votes? Not the committee votes, I'm sorry. The votes on the liquor licenses. I felt like, for example, on the La Paranda, sorry, my pronunciation sucks. I think the voting there got a little weird. I thought the entire board voted that down.
So Harriet, I had Harriet listen to the tape. She left her notes at home. I had her listen to the tape, right, Harriet? Economic development, all the motions were unanimously passed with the exception of La Casa del Mofongo. That motion failed. That was a roll call vote.
All right, so that was
inverted. It was inverted with the Red Bear Lounge.
Okay, and that was changed to be corrected in minutes?
If you look at the minutes, yeah, motion 3 for La Casa the motion failed.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
And the Red Bear Lounge unanimously is passed.
I did have one question regarding, I'm sorry, the nurses. Was there a motion for us to write something in support of their?
That's for tonight.
I'm sorry?
That's for tonight.
Thank you.
Also, just so I had a board member ask this question earlier. I might as well just say it now. This Corporation Council, the City Law Department, in one of their opinions in the handbook, says, all votes by board members need to be accounted for. So I know we've had issues in the past, especially back around 2019. We need to know how everybody votes. So when we, if nobody's objecting to it, it's unanimous. That means you all vote in favor. So if you don't want to be on record of voting in favor of something, you need to state so. All right. It is required that every vote, we are a public body. Ultimately, every vote, it needs to be made public. And there's different ways that can be done, but if you have any questions about that, let me know. Ideally, after the meeting. Okay, going back to the agenda. Should I share it? I should share it.
Share an agenda.
My report. Yeah, I didn't want to say too much. I did get an email. I just forwarded on to everybody, at least our public distribution list, our elected officials, that they are after. This is a really old request to remove a Green Street over on Van Nest Avenue or off of Van Nest Avenue by Van Nest Park. That came through. Also, Keith Kalb is no longer acting director of Department of Transportation. They do not have an acting director currently, or commissioner. They do have a deputy commissioner, Dorisa Cruz, who's the one that sent me the email. And then one of the motions tonight is kind of moot. So this is a motion that was made under leadership regarding the rainbow flag or the pride flag. in honor of the LGBTQ plus community. The landlord of our building does not want any flags. I did not, when I brought up the issue with him today, I did not say specifically the pride flag. I just said flags in general, like Columbus Day, whatever. He's not allowing that currently. So that motion will be moot, but we can talk about that later. I'm sure there's something else, but I want to move the meeting along. So unless there's something from you, leadership committee, Al, that's you again, since you're the vice chair, acting chair tonight.
We do have one motion this evening. The motion about the flag is moot until we can further discuss it. The other motion that we were going to vote on this evening, Community Board 11, send a correspondence to Montefiore Medical Center and CB 11's council members in support of Nurses Family Partnership Program. So the motion is that CB 11 send written correspondence to Montefiore Medical Center and CB 11's council members in support of the Nurses Family Partnership Program. Do I have a second?
I'll
second.
it.
You don't need a second because it's voted on in committee. It's open for discussion.
All I can say is I'm trying to get the name of the person to actually send the letter to. I've been trying to contact the people who made the presentation and they were away. I sent
Oh
it
yeah, I
to the
forgot.
head of you.
Yeah, we wanted something in writing from them that would better
Right.
explain, because not everybody knows what this partnership program is really about.
Well, they could hear about it if they watch the meetings
Yeah.
filming.
Yeah, your last meeting. Okay.
Right, correct.
But is there any questions about it? If not,
I'm going to recuse myself from this vote.
okay.
Well, we understand why.
Well,
Yeah.
Me too.
is any, first of all, is anyone opposed? Abstentions? We have Malcolm, who else is abstaining?
So you should note, I mean, you should as far as I know, you should disclose why you're recusing, so it's not left for speculation.
Well, as an employee of Montefiore, I'm not going to vote on this, so that's why I'm recusing.
So it's same with Harry, right?
Yes,
Harry?
sir. I'm an employee of Monty too. Thank you.
Okay.
We have two abstentions. We have no one disagreeing. I guess everyone else is in favor. Motion carries unanimously with two abstentions.
I abstended. I have an abstention as well, and I don't know why I have to tell you why.
I believe you don't
We've never done it. We've never done that. We've been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah, no, I'm just I believe when we have conflicts of interest board training, and that's their recommendation. It's entirely up to you, but you're recusing yourself. You're not abstaining, right?
Isn't there a difference between a recusal and an abstention? So Harry and Malcolm would be recusals and Naomi would be an abstention.
It's considered abstention with cause.
Yes. It's not supposed to hurt the vote when you recuse yourself, according to the conflicts of interest board. I mean, I should find out when the VP's office is arranging for that training next.
All right, let's get on with this. We have two recusals, one abstention, and everyone else is for it. Motion carries. Let's go.
Okay.
Economic development.
Well, Al, there's one thing that's left off the agenda. I don't know if it should have came up under leadership or under ethics. We were talking about, the public hearing in September. You want to bring that up under old business? It's up to you, Naomi. I mean, it's her committee that was dealing with that. I don't know.
Well, I think what happens is that anything that goes before a committee then has to go before leadership before it comes to the floor for a vote.
Yeah, I did. We talked about this
I think that's
extensively.
yeah.
Unfortunately. And we were going to, the idea that it was, we were going to talk about it further tonight, I believe. I could be wrong. I just don't want anybody to accuse us of, intentionally dropping the ball.
Okay, move on.
All right. So I guess that's that. Economic development. Is Joe Thompson, Joanne Rubino here? One of the two? Joanne, still here? Can anybody hear me?
Joanne's muted.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I didn't know I was muted. So sorry. Okay, so we have a number of motions. I'll go through them one by one. The first one is the Portofino Cafe. There were no issues, and we are, there's a motion of no objection to the State Liquor Authority regarding the renewal license application. They really haven't had an issue. So I guess we can do it one by one. So we did
Well,
not, we don't need a
Joanne-
second. Excuse me?
Or Joanne, if is anybody going to object to any of these licenses where we're not objecting, where we don't have an objection for the first 4?
I don't think we're going to have an objection.
So if we don't, then we can group them together.
Okay.
right?
So then the second is Jay's Tavern. There was no issue as well. And then the Chipotle on White Plains Road. There were no objections. There were some issues having to do with sanitation, but that's something that we're going to deal with sanitation. So there was really no issues with the, with itself. So then we also have the Astor Bar and Grill. There were no issues with that. And that's the 1 through 4. The cannabis thing is a separate issue. So for these four, renewal applications, are there any objections? We don't need a second.
Just for clarification,
Is
3
number
renewals.
4 a renewal or a new? On the agenda, it says it's a new liquor license.
Yeah,
no, it's renewal. Oh, and new. I forgive me. The Astor Bar and Grill is a new.
So that needs to be done separately.
Okay, so we'll just do Portofino,
Well-
Jay's, and Chipotle. Okay.
Again, if nobody's objecting, I don't know why they need to be done separately.
Okay. No, well,
If there's no objection to the new one, let the 4 of them together and let's get it done.
Okay, all right. Are there any objections to the motion for no objection for these 4? Does anybody have an issue or any abstentions?
No.
Okay, fabulous. So then it all passes. So now we have apparently, and we really don't have any guidance on this, and I think, Jeremy, you're going to invite someone from the cannabis, and I'm not even sure of the agency's name, but
It's right here.
they're gonna, okay.
New York State Cannabis
Oh,
Management.
the state office, we're going to have the State Office of Cannabis Management to come to our meeting.
We're gonna reach out. Doesn't
We're
mean
going to
we can
reach
get
out
done
because
right away.
we really have no guidance with this. And there were a lot we are objecting based on, I know it's 500 feet, but this is 528 feet away. So this was something that, a lot of people didn't think the location was great because of the school and also because of there are issues on that strip, with crime and so forth. And we just think it's a problematic location. So, but we're not going to, we're not going to, are we going to make a motion at this point? I don't think so. I think we're going to wait until we get more guidance.
So just so before we call on Cynthia, who has her hand raised,
Sure.
the guidance I've a lot of my not a lot, but quite a few of my colleagues have been dealing with this issue already. This is the first time we're doing it. Some of them still haven't dealt with it, like us prior to today,
Right.
or this month. Right now, we have to send everything in writing. We can't send an email. They really don't have it together yet. The Office of Cannabis Management, to my
Right.
knowledge. But other than that, yeah, the committee did vote on this, to my knowledge. That's why I
Okay.
have it on here on the agenda. In bold.
Okay. Well, I can make a motion then, and we don't need a
But
second. But excuse me.
Motion's already made, yeah.
Okay, so a motion is to send written correspondence to the New York State Office of Cannabis Management objecting to the new cannabis dispensary license of cannabis emporium.
No,
I
Is
thought
the-
we
if you
had
want-
originally objected to the location.
Yes.
Yes.
And we were
Location.
very, yeah, we were very clear that we couldn't object to the licensing because we don't know all the guidelines. But we
Right.
were objecting to the location of it.
Yeah,
That
I
was
said-
the-
yeah, I
that was
said
the
in the
motion.
beginning that that's the issue.
Okay, so
That's the
then
mo-
I can correct that, the motion, we are objecting to the location of the new cannabis dispensary license. So,
Yeah.
we don't need a second, but are there any objections to this or any abstentions? Okay, so then the
I'm
motion
sorry,
passes.
I'm gonna object.
You object, okay. So Miguel, is that Miguel? Miguel objects, okay, so there's one objection. Anybody else?
I just was curious because I thought the person who had applied for the license was in the meeting. I don't know if they're still here or not.
Well,
I'm
they
here.
put a lot of information in the chat and I'm sure they're fine and they're good.
That was
but
me.
Yeah, oh, hi, okay.
Hi, how are you?
But we just have an objection to the location. They may be a wonderful organization, but the location it just doesn't work for us.
Can I bring a couple things to your attention? I mean, just a minute of your time. I know you guys are very busy.
It's up
Is
to
that
the board.
okay? Is that okay with you, Al?
It's not usual. What does the board think? We give them
That's-
permission to speak for
Personally, I'm
minutes,
okay with it.
That's fine.
He's
Let
asking
him
for a
go-
minute.
I don't have a
Fine,
problem
1
with
minute's
it.
fine.
I mean,
Let's
Wait.
give them 2 minutes, like
Any
Okay,
objection?
2 minutes then.
Yes.
Is there any objection?
no,
All right, you have 2 minutes.
Earl, you
esteemed
ready?
board-
I am ready. Go ahead, sir.
Esteemed board members, neighbors, friends, thank you for giving me a chance to talk. I'll try to be quick as possible and short as possible. As you guys know, there's a lot of other illegal dispensaries in the neighborhoods. And having these legit dispensaries that are overseen and licensed by New York State gives the OCM a chance to shut down all the other ones. And the legit dispensaries are going by strict guidelines to abide by these guidelines and to keep our neighborhood, definitely schools and children, safe and away from these things, and to use things like security guards or checking people's IDs, making sure they're over 21 to come in. And we're not advertising anything on the signs. It's just the name of the store, unlike the other ones. I own the building in there. I know somebody said that it's not the safe neighborhoods, but we've never had any issues. I know the projects are across the street, but we've never had any issues there. We have great neighbors, great relationship with them. So if you have any concerns, I'm here to answer any questions you might have. That's it. I'll be brief as possible.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So any questions? If not, you want to vote? Or continue to vote?
Okay, does anybody have any objections to our objection?
I'm sorry, I got one question. How far is the location from PS 89, which is right around there?
I
PS
looked
89?
at
Across the street.
Google Maps. I looked at
Yeah.
Google Maps and I did a little walking thing, when you do the little walking thing, and it's 528 feet.
Is that from
not
the
a lot.
school or
And
from
it's-
the
The
schoolyard?
school entrance.
Okay.
The
And
school
the school
entrance.
entrance,
Literally across the street.
the schoolyard may be even it may
Yes,
be even less.
It's closer, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
IDing them or
The
like
school's
are you
actually
gonna have
on
to show
Mace
ID?
Avenue.
Excuse
It's
me?
around the school's actually on Mace Avenue around the corner. It's not facing us at all. So you would actually have to walk to the corner, then walk that way to get to the school. I know when you do Google Maps, it shows you across, but it's actually on Mace Avenue itself.
The schoolyard is directly across the street. I know
No,
the
it's
area
not.
well.
Yeah.
The park is there.
Are you going to be IDing people? Like,
Gentlemen,
are-
Yes.
gentlemen, it's time for a vote, not discussion.
Yeah, we're gonna be IDing everybody with security guards at the front door. Unless you have a valid ID that shows you're over 21, you cannot come in. And we're not catering to school kids, and we're not allowing school to come in like the other illegal dispensaries. Only people that are above the age of 21 with valid New York State ID can come inside to the store.
I guess what recourse do we have if
kids too under 21 start going in. That's the answer.
It'll be like ideally it will be like
We will lose our
license.
license, so that's not even an option. We will lose the license. We permitted one person. We have cameras. We will have cameras at every viewpoint, including where the IDs are getting checked, clearly showing the ID of the person coming in for our purposes to make sure that all of these rules are strictly adhered to. We leave no chance for anybody coming through it. You need a valid New York State that gets scanned and verified before you can walk into those doors.
I'm sorry, guys. I know.
Yeah,
Because when another issue that
I apologize for taking too much of your time.
Another issue are the illegal smoke shops that are in the area that are selling cannabis. So I'm wondering if legal cannabis licenses and shops will help oversight and cracking down on the illegal ones. You know what I mean? Because I don't think the state will want to compete with a black market.
Mr. Gray, what the state OCM has assured us, they just got their approvals where they shut down all these illegal ones. So everywhere that they're putting up a legal dispensary, they're coming in and shutting the illegal ones in that vicinity. So by allowing a legal dispensary, they're being forcing throughout, like we have four doors down with a big smoke shop and marijuana signs, all kind of stuff that you can see clearly through the window. Only four doors down from us. And when we brought this up to them, they assured us that these will be getting shut down immediately. And they just got the right to do that, I believe, a week ago. And they informed us they're going to be strictly enforcing this and wherever there's a legal dispensary, everything that's illegal around it gets shut down.
I think the way they get around, the way the illegal dispensaries get around this is by selling something else, like a baseball card for $15. And with the baseball card, they give you the marijuana. They're allowed to give you marijuana, they can't sell it. So I think that's one of the ways they get around it. They sell you an item for an expensive, an exorbitant price, and they give you the marijuana as free.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue here is that we're trying to regulate the market on the legal side and shun the illegal side. That's what the conversation is.
Right, because if a legal license will bring more oversight on the illegal side, technically that would be a good thing, and that would prevent kids from going to the illegal markets.
So our goal as well, sir.
So
that's why I objected. Time is going, man.
No,
I have a question for Mr. Oskert. Mr. Oskert, what are going to be the hours of operation? Your hours of operation.
We're in discussions of that right now. It's either going to be 10 to 8 or 10 to 9, somewhere in that region. We haven't nailed down the exact time yet, but it'll be about 10 a.m. to probably 8 a.m., somewhere around that vicinity, man.
So I should share this with the board as a whole. I think I shared it only with Bernadette and staff, but the Pelham Parkway Neighbors Association did contact us about 2 unlicensed smoke shops on White Plains Road. We reached out to the Department of Consumer Affairs and Worker Protection, and they went out, they inspected, and they issued violations that they have hearings for in June and July. So when I get a chance, I will forward that email on to everybody for that information.
I just want to make a quick point. When's the last time anybody went to a speakeasy? Once Prohibition ended, all the gangs and all that stuff and all the, who's been to a juke joint lately? Once the people that are actually doing it right and getting the licenses, and from what I understand, they're going to be very strict with it. As a former bar owner, I know how crazy the state liquor authority is, and so it behooves us to be nice to the guys that are actually trying to do the right thing. Thanks.
I don't think anybody's objecting to a legal cannabis shop. I think the problem is the
location.
All 3 of my bars were close
I think
to
that was
schools.
it.
I got exceptions for 2 of my bars because they were close to a school. I mean, there's bars and liquor stores everywhere close to schools and churches. There wouldn't be one or the other all over New York if they really stuck to these rules by the book.
So Christine, you still have your hand up, or no? Your question's been answered. Okay.
Sorry, I'll take it down.
Yep. All right, Al, you want to call for the vote?
Yes, again, anybody opposed? Abstention?
I'm opposed to the location.
No.
That's
So
what
the,
No, no.
that's
so
what
the
it
motion,
is.
the motion is
That's
to
not-
object
that's
to the
not
location.
The motion is, you're either for the motion that was presented by Joanne, or you're against it, or you're abstaining.
So with all the discussion of stuff, can we restate what we're actually voting?
Joanne, you want to restate your motion, please?
Sure. The motion is to object to the location of the Cannabis Emporium because it's near a school. So that is really the objection, not to the business itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Again,
Welcome.
Anybody opposed?
I oppose.
I oppose.
Ken Gelnick, I'm recusing on this one. And I'll give you,
Wait, let's get the oppositions first. How many opposed?
I oppose.
I oppose.
And Cynthia.
So hold on, because Harriet's the one that does the preliminary minutes for Hazel. So it's Miguel, Malcolm, Cynthia opposed. Anybody else?
Juanita.
opposed?
I oppose.
And Serena.
All
Juanita
right,
too.
hold on, slow, one at a time. So Malcolm, Miguel,
Christine.
Cynthia, Serena, Christine,
Juanita.
Harry. You got that, Harriet? I mean, it is recorded.
Yes,
I
sir.
did. Think it's clear enough? I don't know how many that is, though.
Keith.
Anybody?
Recusal by Ken.
No. Do you know how many opposed, Harriet?
Keith just opposed as well, I think.
6.
Yes,
6.
ma'am.
I have 6 opposed.
Dwayne Williams.
Ramsey too.
Malcolm, Christine, Cynthia, Juanita, and Harry.
Dwayne Williams always
Keith
opposed.
and Dwayne.
And Serena.
Okay, hold on. I'm muting everybody because everybody keeps talking out of turn. Let's just say it again, Harriet. Unmute yourself, please. Harriet? Harriet?
I oppose.
Yeah, okay.
Point of order. We're voting on location only?
The motion is to
I
object to the
understand,
location.
only.
All right, thank you.
So, Harriet, can you unmute yourself? I muted everybody. I need you to unmute yourself. Or I'll just do a roll call vote. That seems probably the
I think a
easiest.
roll call vote would be better, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's easier then. Okay. All right, Veronica Castro.
Jeremy, clear it one more time.
Okay, so the motion is to object. The motion that was made in the committee is to object to the location of the dispensary.
Meaning that if you oppose, you agree with it for they to open at the location.
No.
Thank
You're
you.
not, no.
Yeah.
No.
If you're in favor of the motion, if you say yes, that means you're in favor of the motion. A nay is against the motion or an abstention. Let's get on with it.
Hold on. Too many people are talking out of turn. I mean, either Joanne speaks or I speak or some. I mean, Joanne, do you want to say it again? I mean, I feel like people are way too confused.
Yeah, but explain it, Jeremy. Make it Lehman
Yeah,
language, not
but you can't.
law language.
But just because people are against the motion doesn't mean they're for the dispensary, right? They
They
may
are-
be.
No, if they're against the motion, they are against the location.
That's what the motion
No.
is. That we're
No, the
objecting
motion is
to
to object to the
period.
location. Maybe they don't
Now,
agree
Jeremy,
with it.
just take
Maybe-
a roll call vote.
I understand, but everybody's obviously way too confused here. The motion is to object to the location of the dispensary. Are you in favor of this motion? Are you against it? Are you abstaining? Or are you recusing yourself? So, so I'm going to go through the list. Veronica, are you in favor of the motion, which is to object to the location?
Yes.
Okay. John, Christine, are you in favor of the motion to object to the location? Christine Culpepper.
Sorry, I'll come back to me, Jeremy. I'm getting a call.
She was against anyway, right? Al?
Yes, in favor.
He's in favor of the motion. Miguel's against the motion. Ken Gelnick, you're recusing yourself, he said?
I'm going to recuse because as an attorney, I don't think I can be in favor of something that is theoretically still illegal by federal law. I would be in favor of this thing, but I'm recusing on that basis.
Well, I think that's more of an abstention. That's more of a moral dilemma, not a personal conflict.
No, actually, it's actually a legal
Yeah, fine,
recusal.
whatever. All right, fine. Malcolm Gray, you're against, right?
I'm against.
Motion?
Yeah.
Debbie?
Yes.
Okay, she's for the motion. David Levitt, is he still in?
Against.
Okay. Roger McCrossin, is he still here?
No, he's
No,
not
he
here.
had
He's
to
not
step-
here.
He had to step out at some point. Serena Muniz is against, I believe. Phyllis Nastasio,
Yes.
in favor. Shreddo, Shredhen,
Against.
Naomi Pemberton,
In favor.
favor of the motion. Keith Ramsey's against, right?
Yep.
Juanita was against.
I'm against.
Richard Reynoso.
I am against.
Okay. Cynthia Rodriguez was against, I
Against.
believe.
Against.
Okay. Ellie Rodriguez, is he here? No. Okay. Joanne Rubino. I'm assuming she's for the motion. Joanne? I can't, I'm looking at a
You
different
must
screen. I
be
can't see.
muted.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am for the motion.
Okay. Harry was against the motion, right?
Yes, against the location.
Oral?
Yeah, I'm for the motion.
Lisa Soto, I don't think she's in. Joe Thompson, I don't know his whereabouts. Sandy Unger?
I agree. Yes, I'm for the motion.
Okay. And Janice is not in to my knowledge. Is Dwayne in?
Yes, I'm here. I'm against the motion.
Okay. And Jeanette Wilson? Is she in? Okay. So I'm just gonna count it up. All right, I'm gonna count up the yeses for the motion. 1, 2. All right, I'm just moving my screen back. I can share the screen too if you want. So 1. I got 8 for the motion. As far as I can tell, the motion fails. 1, 2, 3. 12. I got 12 against. So the motion fails. I mean,
Okay.
I could be off by a digit or two, but it's pretty clear. Majority is against the motion.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Yep.
How's
All
it?
right. Sorry to be so brusque with everybody. Hazel's out. Richard Reynoso, do you want me to share the screen?
Yeah,
Do you have
please.
the motion?
Yep.
So here's the motion. It's also a hyperlink, the exact wording of the petition, proposed wording.
Before we go ahead to the housing motion, I had a quick question.
So that was so can you put in the chat since you're not a member of the board?
Okay.
We did vote no objection for your restaurant last month.
Okay, so would I still have to be present for this meeting then?
No.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep. Right? Am I right about that, Chris? Veronica, Economic Development, no objection to La Paranda last month, right?
Correct.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Rich. Sorry.
Could you zoom in a little bit so everyone can see? If possible.
Yeah, hold on.
All right.
Better?
So at the last housing meeting earlier this month, we discussed having a petition to organize a community against the rent guidelines proposed rent increases in favor of a 0% increase. Obviously, the rent guidelines is going for a higher number. our proposal is to go at a 0% increase. So our motion that left committee is, does the board agree to a rent guidelines proposed rent increase in favor of a 0% increase? That's the motion. The motion again is against the rent guidelines proposed increase and an increase of 0% instead.
I should probably find the wording in the petition. I thought it was hyperlinked.
No,
that's
yeah,
my
it's
error.
fine. I think what the rent guidelines petition is higher than 0. We're asking for it to be 0.
Yeah, I found, I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay.
The exact, for the proposed wording for the petition.
Okay. Net, what we're asking is that we want to make everyone aware that we're against what the rent guidelines proposed rent increases, and we would rather it be a lower number and it be at 0% instead of the 2-3% that they were going for.
Okay, so as made in committee, any discussion? If not, you want to call for a vote, Rich?
I motion to vote that we propose from CB Bronx 11 that the rent guideline board go for a 0% increase.
Okay, so anybody against or abstaining from this motion?
I'm abstaining, Jeremy. I'm a landlord, so not going to vote on it.
I'm abstaining also.
Jeremy?
Yeah, Ken.
Yeah, I'm against the motion because maybe we can have a little bit of discussion on this because
you can motion to discuss as well if you want.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
Go ahead, Ken.
Motion to
What do you want to
discuss
say?
if you want.
I would like to have a discussion on this because,
yeah,
in essence, everybody has had increases, and we all know what the price increases are. In essence, we're telling the people who own the buildings, hey, you don't fix up your buildings because we don't want to do that. I understand it's a problem, but the question is, to do 0 increase is idiotic in the face of this inflation.
We're in a district where the average income is about 44K, right? That is way below the nation average. We're experiencing inflation. We're not experiencing wages really increasing within our immediate area. So, I mean, any type of rent increase at all within the city is going to harm those at the bottom. So,
but it's also going to harm the land, but it's also going to harm the buildings.
But that's where we have to work together and organize and combat things and ask our elected officials to lower property taxes and to provide more help to our landlords and property owners so they're not getting hit in the wallet too. But a lot of people can't afford these increases.
Then put that in the petition. And the other side of the property taxes is that where are we going to get the money to pay for the services that we want?
Which services are you referring to?
Police, fire. These things pay, property taxes pay for all of these.
So hold on. So is the committee amenable to adding adding the language that Ken was saying or what Malcolm was saying about lowering?
I think whatever we're discussing now, since we have housing in a few days, we'll take it back and discuss there. I don't want to do a live vote in front of, we could take it back to housing and talk about it. It's in 3 days or like next week.
The only thing though is that the final vote is next month for
June 15th.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we need to have it now. And we're also planning to get people to go to the next meeting on June 5th.
Yeah. Okay, that's the timing issue here. So Ken,
I'm not against. I'm not against Ken's suggestions.
We're trying to vote on a petition that we can show up with. The housing committee, I don't know if folks know this, are going to go to the next rent guidelines board meeting live to this, to discuss this, petition this.
Can we accept Ken's Is his, I'm sorry, my brain is fried.
If he makes
suggestions?
if he makes a logical amendment to the petition, that's fine, to the vote. Yeah.
Can you do so? Can we meet in the middle?
So I put the proposed petition that Hazel submitted to me in the chat, which says, "Dear citizens of New York City, we are writing to you today." I could just read it. "We're writing to you today to urge you to support a petition opposing the proposed rent stabilization increases in our city." Do you want to amend that, Ken? Would you be willing to vote if it was amended in a way that's more palatable?
The problem is, what are we going to amend? We're going to ask that if everything that we do, if we say we want to lower property taxes, where are we going to pay for the other services that we want? It's a very good idea to lower property taxes. The problem is you then don't have the money to pay for the other things that you want, to pay for homeless services. You don't have a good answer for this. But I do
Yeah,
know
but that's the point of housing, right? We're looking for solutions. We're saying right now, we're trying to meet you halfway. What would you like to see? If not, we're going to go with our vote.
That's fine. I
know, but so help us. No, hold on, Ken, hold on. I'm saying, what in your blue sky ideal world, what would you see? Help us halfway.
I would see that the landlord that you delay any increase until the landlords open up the books, and then you can see what everybody's doing.
Rich, let's go for a vote.
So Ken, I'm sorry. So Ken, I understand that you're advocating for landlords, right?
No, ma'am, I'm not advocating for landlords. I'm advocating for the city. I believe the city will suffer if we go for a 0% increase. The housing stock will suffer because they're going to have abandoned it just like they used to before.
So then back
We
to
are
what
all going
Richard
to
is
suffer.
saying, what do you see would be the solution or meeting us halfway? Because at the end of the day, rent is going up, but raises aren't going up. Salaries is not going up.
Yes, but Juanita, so is water, so is Con Ed, so is taxes, so is everything that the landlord has to pay.
I think Ken
I'm a small landlord.
To the 0%.
And I am selling my property because I just can't keep up with it anymore.
Hold on, before we move on, we want solutions. We don't want that's what we want. So if not zero, then what?
Then what? Right.
My solution would be to petition that they have no rent increases until the landlords open up the books. Then you could see something real. Then you would be able to have a real determination as to what's going on.
So you're saying no rent increase until landlords
Until the landlords open up the books. Then everybody would say, "Hey, if you want a rent increase, this is why you need it, and this is what you're doing."
What does that mean to open up the books?
Yeah, please you can clarify so we can write that in the motion.
Can we include Ken in the writing of the letter so we could also have
That's
his
not gonna,
point, his
Malcolm.
perspective in the letter also?
No, it's a rent increase, either 0 or a certain amount. You're not going to get the landlords to open up their books. If you do, then that's not going to happen. So the problem is, and Rich is trying to figure out, if it's not 0, then is it 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%? Because 0 is 0, right? You're not going to be able to increase that amount at all. So if it's 5% from what they have, then it's a more reasonable amount that you can bring that to the
2%.
Or 2%, and you can bring it to the landlords and figure out if that is a more, or someone said 1% on here. I don't know, 1% works, but you can figure out if that makes sense. But 0%, does that really help anyone? It may help the homeowners and not have an increase at all, but now you're taking away funds from landowners I know some people are saying that they won't do anything with the money. They won't do any more renovations to their buildings, but maybe they will. Or maybe you can say where you have the increase, you have to go forward and make renovations or whatever to the building so the people can live in decent apartment, a decent environment and decent site.
If you put it at 0, you'll get less services for the tenant because the landlord's not gonna lose money. But he's gonna make his money one way or another. So what'll happen is that the tenant will lose services. And again, on the other hand, the price of oil is going up and things like that. So I think we
Let's
have to
let's not forget that this is for rent stabilization, right? Private small landowners are not rent stabilized. So this is different. So like the issue, if your building is not 6 units or up, you're not counted in that scenario.
Malcolm, there are small landlords that have
But they're not rent stabilized, so they're not affected by this.
One 6-unit building is stabilized.
Yeah, it is, Malcolm.
But that's what I said. If you're not 6 units or above,
Right, but they're not big landlords. Just 6 units are not big landlords.
Right.
6 units and
I
below.
think he's talking about the case of Phyllis, who's a small landlord. She would not be
Right.
affected by
It's
this.
entirely different. Small landlords can increase their rent all they want every single year. There's no issue with that.
Yeah,
but
but
once you go up into a certain range, that's rent stabilization.
Malcolm, we understand that it's a 6-unit. The rent stabilization applies to 6 units or more.
Correct.
In certain buildings, but the problem is, number one, not every building has 200 units. Not every landlord has 10, 20, or 30, or 50 buildings. There are some that have 1 or 2 buildings.
Right. But by law, those aren't considered small landlords. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand anything over 3 families. You've got to register the building. Yes, you are talking about what's legally. When you're talking about small landlords, again, the problem is no matter which way you do it, you're in a no-win situation here. Because if you don't give the increase, they're definitely gonna decrease the services. If you do give the increase, you're gonna have everybody out. I don't have a good answer for it. I do know that 0% is not good. Maybe you want to ask maybe you want to add to the petition unless they put 50% of the increase into improvements in the building.
See that's a good response. If we're going to increase by 1%, 50% of it has to go into capital expenditures.
That's what I mentioned earlier.
That's fine. No, and that's fine.
I understand that already. I'm taking up your point. I agree.
So Christine and Phyllis have their hands raised. Either one.
Yeah, so I just want to say that the reason that we came to this decision in the Housing Committee was because we discussed all the fallout from the pandemic, right? A lot of people became, homeless as a result of losing their jobs, right? We are in this community and we are constantly, talking about, we don't want shelters in this community. We don't want certain types of, housing in this community. But you also are talking simultaneously about raising the rent, right? So you can have it both ways, right? People are vulnerable now, right? And like, Juanita said, wages are just not going up at the same rate that these rent increases are going up, right? You have a very vulnerable community out there, seniors, right? I mean, they can't afford, they're on a fixed income. They can't afford those increases, even at 2%, period. Thank you.
Actually, the seniors do have, the landlords do get certain rent abatements for seniors, and I understand that will go up as the rents go up. So that's also, it's a little.
Can you guarantee that, Ken? Can you guarantee that?
No, I can't. Christine, can you guarantee that? Christine, wait a second. Can you guarantee?
So listen, what I can guarantee is if you have a 0% increase, that people have a predictable.
One at a time.
Let's take a deep breath, people.
So if you heard me correctly, Ken, what I said was I can guarantee you with 0% increase, people know what their rent is going to be, next year.
Christine, at a 0% increase, can you guarantee those buildings won't be abandoned like they used to be abandoned?
They get abandoned now.
Right.
I don't believe
that landlords are going to, give up,
the profit that they're making, even at this, at this amount, right?
Christine,
That might
we're
not be,
let's agree to disagree and let's have a vote on it.
okay, thank you,
Hold
Kim.
on, we got one more hand raised, Miguel, and then, yeah, can we do a vote after this, Miguel?
Yes, absolutely. I just wanted to
Yeah,
say,
let's do it.
Nobody's wages went up 5% unless you're, like on Wall Street. So that's crazy.
All right. So we're gonna vote on 0% petition. All right.
Yeah. Roll call.
Let's do another roll call vote. Make it easy, quick. All right. Does the motion need to be restated for anybody? If not, I'm just gonna go through the list. Veronica.
Let's restate it, Jeremy, to be sure.
Okay, motion is to draft a petition to organize our community and city against the rent guideline board's proposed rent increase in favor of 0% increase. Just for clarification, what everybody needs to know, they're proposing 2 to 5% increase in 1-year leases and 4 to 7% maximum increases on 2-year leases. All right.
Can you repeat that, Jeremy?
The proposed the rent guidelines board proposed increase for rent stabilized 6 units or more. It's 2 to 5% for a 1-year lease. And 4 to 7% on a 2-year lease.
And do you know what the current rent is about, approximately the average? Or you wouldn't have that?
No, I don't think so.
I
Okay.
don't know. I mean,
Rich, do you know?
It's everywhere. Here, get in the car so I can help this.
No, I
somebody needs
think
to mute
it
themselves.
depends on the borough.
Go in the car.
Okay.
It's fine. I muted her.
Yeah, I was just curious to see what it's, because I understand what everyone's saying about not getting increases in pay and having a hard
Question is
time.
over. I thought we were taking a vote.
Yeah, okay, David.
That's so too.
All right. All right. So roll call vote. The motion's clear for everybody. Sandy.
Wait. Jeremy, I thought we'd possibly had a possible middle position of putting in that the landlords, no, you don't want that? Fine. Let's have a vote like this.
Let's have it. Let's do it. But I thought you rejected the offer.
I said that we put 50% of the increase into the
building.
Will go into the
Yeah.
building.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then let's make the language happen.
And there should be no more of a 2%. In other words, not 2 to 5%, no more than 2%, and 50% of that going back to the building.
Into the buildings. Yep.
I think that would be just for everyone.
That's what I said earlier, and Ken said it too, but go ahead.
I think that's a good one.
Make the motion.
So hold on. Are we amending the motion or not? Are we looking to modify it?
Rich, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we are. We're going to modify the motion, as Ken stated.
Right? As long as all the housing committee members are okay with that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would have to ask the subcommittee if they're okay with this amendment to the motion.
I'm okay with that. That sounds
Okay.
reasonable.
Is anyone opposed?
Christine.
I'm opposed.
Okay. Malcolm?
Wait, is the motion amended? Is it as amended or?
Well, the motion was made in committee, and technically you got to vote on that. But unless the housing committee agrees to,
Because even the way I see it, even if we were to, say we need 2% to go back into the building, that still doesn't defeat the fact that it's still a rent increase that people can't afford.
Okay.
Even if it's going back into the building.
Then leave it as is, Malcolm.
All right.
we can make a separate motion for the other one if you really want. But,
Okay.
All right. So, all right. Do I need to restate the motion or are we good? Okay.
Restate the motion.
Restate them.
Restate the motion.
Motion to draft a petition to organize our community and city against the rent guideline board's proposed rent increases. Remember, it's 2 to 5% for 1-year leases, 4 to 7% for 2-year leases, in favor of a 0% increase. Veronica. Okay. Christine.
4.
Okay. Al. Angelo.
Against.
Okay. Miguel.
4.
Ken.
I'm against. I'm against.
Malcolm. 4. Debbie Kowalik.
4.
David Levitt.
4.
Did Roger rejoin? If not, we'll go on to Phyllis.
Recuse.
I missed Serena. I'm sorry. Okay. Shredo.
Against.
Naomi.
Abstention.
Keith Ramsey.
Abstention.
Juanita.
4.
Rich. Reynoso. 4. Yes, no?
Yes, 4. Sorry, apologies, mute.
That's all right. Cynthia.
4.
Joanne.
Against.
Harry.
4.
Oral.
I'm for it. Yeah, I mean, for the 0%, because we're not getting anywhere so far.
Sandy.
Against.
Dwayne.
Against.
Jeanette. Or no, Jeanette's not here. Who abstained again? Because I wrote A for against for both abstentions and against. Who abstained?
Naomi and Keith abstained. Phyllis recused herself.
Thank you.
All right, so you got it then, Harriet? I don't
Yes.
need to. Okay. It's on
I
the
got
record. Okay. All right, so
I abstain.
who's I? Rabbi's here?
Rabbi.
That's me. That's me.
Always coming out of the woodworks. All right. Let me put you down. You abstained? All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. 1, 2. So I don't know if you wrote this down here. So I got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I got 12 in favor. Chris is right. 9 against or abstain. 9 against and abstentions. So ultimately it passed. All right.
Yep.
Right.
Thank
Moving
you.
on. Moving on, Rich. The nominating elections committee.
We're done.
Joanne Rubino.
Okay, hi, yes, we're gonna take nominations for treasurer tonight and for, and a treasurer and for sergeant at arms. So far, we have a candidate of Veronica Castro for treasurer, and for sergeant at arms, we have Malcolm Gray and Oral Selkridge. So do we have any nominations for treasurer from the board, and additional ones? Going once, going twice. Okay. Do we have any additional nominations for sergeant at arms? Okay. All right. So those for treasurer, it's closed, and sergeant at arms is closed, and the vote will be next month. And there will be an opportunity to write in a candidate. So thank you very much, everybody.
And just a reminder that we got the statements for sergeant at arms, and those have gone out. Veronica
Yes.
is working on her statement for treasurer, which is required.
Right.
To be,
I hope to have it to everyone shortly.
yeah.
Okay,
She needs
thank
to
you.
provide it 72 hours before the election in June.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so
Joanne.
much.
All right, Debbie. Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, we had the meeting, I don't have my notes in front of me. I
Can you see the
apologize.
screen?
Yeah, but we made a motion, I'm sorry. We made a motion to send a written correspondence to Parks Department objecting to Site A of their plan. And we accept and to leave their site B as they plan. So it's an objection to site A and not an objection to site B to the plan of the Pelham Parkway seating area. We also wanted to add that we really want them to rehab the pathway from White Plains Road to Stillwell Avenue. It's the potholes in the pathway are extremely dangerous. Some potholes have been there over 20 years. It's really absurd with the neglect that's there. So again, we have a motion to have objection for site A and not for site B.
Unless there's discussion, it was made in committee. You want to take you? Unless there's discussion, we'll call for a vote. Debbie?
Is there any discussion?
Nope. I don't think so.
Okay. So, any against or abstaining or recusals? Okay. Motion carries unanimous. Right, Debbie?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Serena Muniz, Community Development and Budget Priorities.
Wait a second, Jeremy. I have to recuse myself from Parks and Rec.
Okay, so unanimous outside of one recusal.
Yeah. City.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I'll follow up. I understand the concerns about stating the recusal. I'll follow up and find out. I'll get a ruling from the Conflicts of Interest Board about that. Community Development and Budget Priorities, Serena Muniz, she around? Or Malcolm?
Good evening, everyone. The YMCA, the executive director of the YMCA, Ms. Charlene Brown, will be joining us at our next meeting, May 31st. And the CB11 First Annual Juneteenth event will happen on Sunday, June 18th. And a flyer for that will be available to share on Tuesday, May 30th. And that's all I have.
Okay.
It's a Father's Day event too? I don't know.
Yeah, that's
nice.
So
it's a Father's Day event as well. More to come on that. Yes, we will be having a Father's Day. We'll be honoring fathers from the community, and we will be sharing that by Tuesday. We have already put in a request for some proclamations and awards, and some of our CB member fathers will be receiving that from our local elected officials. And so I'm just waiting for some final answers before I share with the board, and I couldn't necessarily share today completely. But yes,
How did you pick the fathers?
So we.
I just want to know because I'm a dad. I just want to know.
Yes. So
if I'm not included, that's fine. I just want to know.
No. The committee collectively got together, and so since we didn't really have too much time to kind of put this whole event together and do the way that we wanted to do, we decided to just focus on the community board member fathers, and so that's what we're doing.
Community board member fathers, like just on Community Board 11, or?
Yes, Community Board 11, as well as you know, I don't right now there are certain nominees that
Okay, no, it's okay. It's okay. I don't feel hurt. I don't feel hurt. That's okay.
No, Oral. We had to submit it into the senator's office, and then they have to present it to the Senate, and then we have to wait to see what they come back with. And so there were just nominees that were presented, and so we're just waiting to get the final confirmation on that. So I don't want to make any announcements just yet because I don't have right now the final announcements to make. But you know, I should be getting that by the end of this week, and then I can add that to the flyer, and then I can personally, collectively as a committee, we can just email the dads. But it's not just CB. Let me just retract. It's CB 11 dads, and they were also CB 11 you know, members of our community that have done really fantastic things for our community.
I have two as a dad. You didn't ask me, but it's okay.
I know
And
you.
what about the mothers? I mean, just
Well,
like
it's
No,
Father's
Father's
Day.
Day.
It's on Father's
Father's
Day.
Day.
This one was.
I know, but
for
you
moms.
Father's Day.
just you didn't do
Father's Day.
anything for Mother's Day.
Father's Day.
Well, I was
Well,
trying
we
to,
did
but
actually.
nobody sent me an email.
We did
Father's
actually.
Day. But it's okay. You know, I just coach. I just mentor kids. I just do a lot for.
All right,
the
Oral.
community.
Oral.
I don't
You
get
know,
Oral
involved.
just wanted to know how much
It's all
competition
good,
he had.
Malcolm. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Oral,
It's
you
okay.
have a
I'm
very,
good.
very valid point.
I'm good.
Very valid point. And so
I'm
this was a
good.
conversation that in
I'm
the
good.
community. No,
I trained my sister to be in the Olympics. I
Can we
raised her.
go on, please?
It's all good, Malcolm. Thank you. Thank you for considering me. I like this is great.
which
Thank you.
Oral, but we haven't said who those
Right.
Yeah,
persons
like
are.
you're assuming you're not being
I
non-person.
know.
I didn't know about this. It's coming up soon.
But you don't have to know. A lot of the nominees don't know.
Nobody knows.
They don't
You don't
know.
know,
And you
but I
know
have
what?
to
To
tell
be
you my
honest,
history. I had to
he
give
may
you a
have
write-up
nominated some
about me.
dads.
Oh, why are we bickering? Let's just get
Because I
on with
want
it.
to bicker. I want to bicker because I don't.
I want to go to sleep. Thank you.
That's fine.
I got to get up way too early for
All
this.
right.
Christine, Malcolm, it's
Oral,
okay.
Oral has the
Listen,
floor.
Oral, we just so you know, Oral, your bio is online, so that if we really wanted it, all we have to go is click on the page.
I have more. There's a lot more to me than this, than the bio. It's okay.
But this is Oral. First of all, we don't know right just yet who the nominees were, and then the other thing is that this is the first annual, right? This was done 2 months ago, and we're trying to make a really spectacular event in 2 months' time.
I'm here.
That does not mean that next year we're not going to do it better. But you know, this is what we're doing, and I can't announce it just yet. And to be honest, I hope that the dads that you know will be receiving this award will be even available and or want it. You know, we're taking that chance.
So, you know, it's fine.
How do you intend to raise the funds for next year?
Yes,
How do you
exactly.
intend to- How do you intend to raise the funds for next year?
Well, when we cross that bridge, we'll answer that. We'll get there. But
Can we move on, please? Please.
We'll let people know. Yeah.
Thank
We
you,
move on.
everyone. Thank you. Have a great night.
All right. Phyllis, education, culture.
Okay, thank you. CB 11 Day at Yankee Stadium is June 8th. Tickets are available at the CB office. The nominees or the students that were selected will be there on the field. I will be joining them on the field that night, and hopefully we'll have a great day.
Just to clarify, because some people were confused when Chris sent out the email, and if you haven't read our website closely, the Conflicts of Interest Board prohibits you from board members normally from accepting these tickets. There's a monetary value to these tickets. The only reason Phyllis is allowed to go to the game is because she's going to be on the field for the on-field ceremony. They allow one representative. And we are taking requests yet. We still don't have tickets yet. You know, we are going to finalize this stuff next week. Christine, you have your hand raised? Or you did? Christine Culpepper?
I'm sorry. So my question is just this: can we purchase tickets on our own to attend as well?
Yes, you can.
Because
the issue is as long as you're purchasing them, you can do it. You know, of course you can go.
Okay.
But as board members, you want to go, take tickets. You're not getting them from me. You know, you can get fined if you or a family member is caught with these tickets. So just keep that in mind. This comes from the City Conflicts of Interest Board. I can give you more specifics from them if you really want. Over the years, for the members who've been with us long enough, every year it's the same story. We usually get an email from the Borough President's office in this regard. I don't think we did this year. Anything else, Phil?
I still think that's highly unfair because we as the community board volunteer our time and and we don't get, I mean, it's not that we in it to get anything, but it would be nice as a token recognition to be allowed to participate in going to
That
a
has to do
Yankee
with-
game.
That has to do with the borough president's office. Right now, anybody who wants to go to the game, purchase a ticket, go to the game. Otherwise, don't go to the game. Next.
Objection noted. And then we updated the Youth Leadership Award memorandum. So we set a deadline of January 31st of next year. So do not wait. If you have children who did not receive the Yankee Award this year, work on an application now. If they didn't receive it this year, find out why, so we can improve and provide a better application this year. You got, I don't know how many months. You got plenty of months to work on that. All right, ethics and disciplinary, Naomi.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So we presented at the leadership board complaints 102 and 104. And the motion is for an apology letter to be written by the board. So I guess we would vote on that this evening. We have heard 2 additional cases this week. We are going to pause the voting at this time as I am seeking legal counsel. So I just wanted to let everyone know that. So Jeremy, do we vote on this at this time for cases 102 and 104?
I mean, if you're seeking legal counsel in regard to these complaints?
No, not to 102 and 104, to the 2 cases that we just heard yesterday, which is 109 and 110.
Do you want to state for the record what 102 and 104 is about, just so everybody's clear? So those who weren't at leadership committee meeting last week, where this was discussed fairly extensively.
Okay, so complaints 102 and 104 is in regards to the incident that occurred in September of 2022, where the violations of the conduct was there were violations of conduct. So we at the leadership, I brought this at the committee, voted that we should write recommended that we should write a letter of apology to those who attended the meeting. And then I brought it to leadership, and it was agreed upon as well at the leadership committee to do the same.
So this is in regards to the September 2022 public hearing at Jacoby Medical Center, which was talked about in the news. The borough president tweeted about. She offered an apology, I think, via tweet.
Yes.
So we're looking at doing something similar, right?
That's correct.
So anybody
Are
have
there
any questions?
any questions?
Just for clarification, it's going to be a general letter of apology, and it's supposed to go out to everyone who attended who signed in for the public hearing.
Thank you.
I got a question on the sign in, because I know I was trying to get people to sign in, and people were signing somebody else's paper, and I was wondering if the papers from the other person, did they ever turn it into the board so we have a record of who was present there?
That's a really great point, Debbie. We don't have an accurate list of sign-ins, so I think
Jeremy,
best
we
thing
can
to
only
do-
go by what we legally have.
Basically, we had decided that only whoever signed in on the CB11's sign-in sheet would get it. If they signed in on the other sheet and didn't sign on CB11, they won't be receiving the apology.
I don't even know where those sign-in sheets are at the moment.
Because I know it was requested multiple of times from the person that was getting the signatures at the other table and making people confused to the situation. So I was,
we could post it. You can make the statement that's posted on our social media.
We could do that, or we could send out email to the distribution list we have for the public, or either one of those, or both of those is fine.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense because again, with my office being flooded, it could have gotten destroyed there because I did have to throw out quite a few things.
I think someone had their hand up, Christine. right?
Cynthia, I think Cynthia had her hand up. Cynthia?
Sorry, Cynthia. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just put it in the chat about posting it to the social media.
Okay.
Yes. That's perfect.
So we will attempt to send it to the people. I mean, there was debate about sending it to everybody because the crowd was very unruly. So some people don't arguably deserve an apology. So yeah, maybe we should just keep it confined to our public distribution list. We can put it in the window of our office, you know.
Okay, but I mean, it's up to the board. We didn't
Yeah, no,
have a
I
vote.
know,
We
I
didn't
know,
have a
but I'm
vote.
just,
Okay, I just want to make that clear.
yeah, will somebody want to make a motion? I don't think a motion's been made yet, right?
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, I guess I'll make the motion.
Yeah.
For us to write a written apology, expressing our regrets for the events that happened in September 2022 at the public hearing.
It'll be a
Second.
general, right? A
Second.
general.
General
letter
letter.
of apology.
Okay.
I second.
Okay.
Second by Malcolm.
So, further discussion? Otherwise, you want to call for a vote, Naomi?
Yes, could I please call for a vote?
Any against or abstaining? If not, it's unanimous.
Yeah, once it's general, it's fine.
Okay. So is hands raised? Joanne? Say
No,
something?
no.
All right, so then unanimously passed, right?
And I'm also asking for legal counsel assistance. So I will speak with you, Jeremy, I guess, to see how we could pay for that.
Individual name, no?
Well, yeah, we'll talk. Okay.
Yeah. Someone's writing something here. That's okay.
All right. So unless there's anything else, Naomi?
No, that's nothing. There's nothing else. Thank you, everyone.
All right, Sandy, Health and Social Services?
Oh, we had two people or two groups come to speak. You could read the minutes or watch the video. Let me get the exact wording. And the other was from Domestic Workers Outreach to get them, all the benefits that they need. And that was it.
Yeah, Department of Consumer Affairs and Worker Protection, I believe.
Right. And we asked, and the other was from the Nurse Family Partnership. And we're going to write a letter encouraging Montefiore to continue with that program.
Okay. Ken Galnick, land use?
Jeremy, hold on a second. I got one question. 102 and 104 was of the same topic, or was that just 102?
Yeah, two different complainants. Yes. Same topic.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Land use, Ken Galnick?
I'm sorry, we're talking about the letter of apology, correct?
No, land use. We're done with
Sorry.
We passed that now, Ken.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. Land use did not have a meeting this past month. Thank you. I'll report this one.
Veronica, Public Safety?
We tried to have a meeting, but due to a meeting at Jacoby, there was really no attendance, so we closed the meeting without a quorum. But I did want to mention that I finally got a response to my emails to Assemblyman Hasty to have a meeting with him. So I believe it was Christine and Cynthia and Phyllis that wanted to join me in a meeting with them. If you could reach out to me, please, so we could talk about the meeting time and see if it works for everyone.
Okay.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Good. Sanitation and Environmental Protection. I don't know if they're here, but there's a proposed public hearing. They're going to try to have a public hearing, alternate side parking restriction additions and removals. Rabbi, are you still here for transportation?
No.
Okay, Hazel's the co-chair.
Rabbi.
Yeah, Harry.
Yeah, we had a meeting the last time. We didn't have anybody from sanitation or DEP present, so the next meeting is June 6th at 7 o'clock to discuss the alternate side for the street issue.
Okay.
So nobody here is from transportation. Well, I mean, Debbie's on the committee. I don't know if there's anything you need or want to state. Otherwise, we'll just move on to the electeds. Is that all right, Debbie? or Chris. Chris usually attends these
Yeah,
committee meetings.
that's fine with me.
Just inputs from the community on everything. I mean, Rabbi made the last announcement he made. He requested everybody that has any questions, any proposals for transportation, MTA, and so on and so forth, to submit it via email to us. So far, we haven't got nothing with the exception of Ms. Delgado that she sent.
And Debbie.
And Debbie. And that's
Yeah,
it.
I had my meeting, which Rabbi was not in attendance of.
Okay. All right. So elected officials, we'll move on. Borough President's Office, I don't know if Kenny's still here. I think Councilmember Velasquez's office is or was here. Stephanie, are you still here? If not, Felice's office was here. I don't know if Kathleen is still here. Riley's office, Mayor's office, Alina was here.
Alina's still here. The mayor's office is still here. I
Right.
was listening
Go
to
ahead.
everything that you guys were talking about. Very, very interesting. Good evening, everyone.
What's so interesting?
So oral, remember we
Yeah, I just
time
love
them
listening
2
to how
minutes.
you guys talk. Anyway, so good evening, everyone. My name is Alina Dow. I'm the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I'm not going to hold up much of your time. I just wanted to share May 26th is the last day for us to get employers that would like to sign up to be to hire some of our summer youth employer kids that are going to be looking for jobs. I know there's a lot of stuff happening in the community, and one of the things we want to ask is that we get businesses in the community that would be willing to hire some of our youth for summer youth. So if you know of any businesses that you think would be interested, please, I'll share the link in the chat. Have them sign up. Also, as I'm sure you're aware, we know that there's a lot of asylums coming. The mayor's doing his very best just to figure out the best way to handle it. They have been asking for federal support as well as state support. One of the things that I'm not sure if anyone has heard, it was on the news yesterday. We had our first talk with Eric town halls. They're going to be happening throughout the city and and then circling back, going back to different areas and different boroughs. And it really was interesting. We were able to have all of the commissioners for all of the city agencies. I do encourage everyone in the community to, at least if you're able to, attend one of them. What else? Oh, something that I always talk about, the mayor is asking us, please, building bonds, breaking bread together. We're asking for people to hold dinners. You will be able to receive $150 stipend if you're able to sit down. We're just asking about 10 different ethnicities that can come together that wouldn't necessarily have, food together or sit with each other. And that's a way that the mayor has done in the past to have people build better relationships in communities. Again, my name is Alina Dow. I'm the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I'm always available. I'll provide my information in the chat, and I wish you all a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, Kenny Augusto for the Borough President's Office. Remember, you have 2 minutes.
Yes.
You're muted, Kenny.
When you're ready.
Kenny, 2 minutes.
He's muted. Unmute yourself, Kenny. I'll request he unmute himself.
Yeah. Kenny, can you unmute or no?
Okay, here I am.
There he is.
Kenny Agosto for the Bronx Borough President's Office. We just had a very successful Bronx Week. We gave out almost 500 prom dresses and suits. We had veterans. We had a veterans breakfast. We had business breakfast, bankers breakfast. We honored 4 Bronx alumni. It was very successful. We had a great parade on Sunday. We are also working again on maternal health. We have the highest infant mortality rate in the state. The borough president is working very hard to tackle that. The community board unit, made up of 3 people, have been vetting 47 applications to the community board, and we've been going through it. We giving interviews and recommending, and then moving it to the next level. We hope that we have a robust response and that we can get those answers out. Again, we had happy Mother's Day belatedly, and we're still working also on fire safety in the borough. And that's my report. And it's so good to see all of you from my community board membership pass.
All right, thanks, Ken.
Okay, then we move on to citywide offices, Comptroller's office, Public Advocate's office, or Bronx-wide, Bronx District Attorney. I know Erica was in. I don't know if she still is in.
I'm still here, Jeremy.
Go ahead, Erica.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see everyone. So this past Saturday, we hosted our first youth summit, which was a major success. We had youth from all across the borough. They had the opportunity to have open, candid conversations, not only with each other, but with some representatives from not only the borough, but the city. We had Chief Benjamin Gurley, we had Cure Violence organizations present. We provided different resources, as well as we had the youth have the opportunity to ask questions about not only what's going on in their communities, but some of the changes that they would like to see. They had these conversations amongst each other, and then they brought it to the DA's attention. And we will be starting a youth group within the Bronx District Attorney's Office. So definitely be on the lookout for more information with that. And I just hope everyone has had a wonderful Mother's Day and has a happy and healthy evening and rest of the week. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to Congress. I know Joe asked me to email him the agenda. I hope he got the email from me or us, from Richie Torres's office. And also, Joe, you asked me about the Memorial Day event at Peace Plaza. Joseph Ronda, I was told. I don't know if Veronica, if you know, Joseph Ronda is doing the Memorial Day event there.
Yes. Joe Ronda will be doing it. It's at 11 a.m. at Peace Plaza.
I don't have his phone number, Joe.
All
So
right.
I will try to get it for you, though.
Could I say a few words, Jeremy? If you don't
Yeah,
mind?
whenever you're ready.
Yeah, now that the congressman overlaps a large part of Community Board 11, I'll probably be coming to these meetings, as need be. And just to give you an idea, I put the information in the chat. And one other thing, basically the congressman does federal issues, Medicare, Medicaid, armed services, post office, veterans affairs, appointment to military academies, and other stuff. So if you have any issues with that, please contact the office. I did put in the chat the website where you can find out where your congressperson is, or who your congressperson is. It's www.govtracks.us. Just put your address in, and your federal representatives will come up. Of course, the two senators will come up, and then your congressperson. That's it.
Good to see you, Joe.
Joe's a former.
And I'm a father too, Earl.
I know you are.
I thought you were going to break your back. You were on by patting yourself on the back there for a second.
I know. Well,
All right. Don't get started.
I just wanted to see. I felt left out.
All right. Thank you.
Jeremy, did Kathleen speak yet? Her hand is up.
Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know if she was still in. Go ahead, Kathleen from Councilmember Felice's office.
Hi, good evening, everybody. We are having a senior brunch in the Garden Terrace room of the Botanical Gardens tomorrow morning from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And there will be food and some floral displays and other items. So please feel free. A lot of you have my number, mostly my email, but please feel free to text or email me if you think you might be able to come, and I will add your name to the RSVP list.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I think we have Gustavo Rivera's office here. Is that Francisco I saw?
Hi, yes.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So again, for those, my name is Francisco Ramirez. I'm the Community Affairs Director with State Senator Gustavo Rivera. The Senator wants to make sure that folks are up to date on what happened with budget. Budget did pass a few weeks ago. It was a 10-bill budget for years 2023, 2024. He wanted to make sure that everybody knew that he is grateful for the majority leader, Stuart Cousins, and his entire Democratic conference for fighting to reduce the harm that many of the executive proposals were causing. I can provide the full details of his statement regarding the budget. Many should have received it. We did an email blast to all our partners. If you did not receive it, please send me an email or call our office, and I'll be able to send that information to you. I'll put our information in the chat in a bit. But one of the things that I wanted to highlight with the budget are funding that was able to be secured for Housing Court Answers, $135,000 to help tenants navigate the housing situations now that we're entering a housing crisis with evictions. Another victory that we want to highlight is the 1.5 million for additional gun violence prevention grants. I can have the whole breakdown of the highlights and wins that we did receive in this budget.
30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. We're having also a senior luncheon in June. We'll send that information out to all our contacts. So if you're not already in our contact list, shoot me an email. We did NYC. We're helping people. If you're having troubles with your ID NYC, that gives you perks to discounts to fitness and cultural institutions in the Bronx or in New York City. Give us a call. We'll help you navigate those. Also, Medicaid, even though it's a federal issue, we can connect you to service providers and also with other offices if you're having issues with that. And tenant and landlord issues, feel free to give us a call. I'll drop our information in the chat. Thank you so much.
All right. Is any other state senator's office here? If not, is any assembly member's office here or any other elected officials? I don't believe.
Yeah,
Velasquez
Councilmember
has it.
Velasquez.
Yeah, hey guys. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, go ahead, Stephanie.
Hey, this is Stephanie, Councilmember Velasquez's office. I just wanted to share with everyone, our office will be distributing tickets for Bronx Day 2023. I know this year they're going to hold it at the Botanical Gardens. I don't have the date yet, but we will have those tickets this weekend. So anybody interested, please feel free to reach out to us. And that's all I have for today. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any other elected officials, perhaps? If not, or elected officials themselves, if not, we'll move on to old business. Any old business?
I do have old business.
Okay, Cynthia?
In the April Bylaws Committee meeting, there was discussion regarding election of chairs. That was item 3C on the agenda. There was much discussion at that meeting, and I think it was tabled, and I'd like to know if that's something that we're going to be revisiting. There's also an issue with, on observation, multiple committees are being chaired or co-chaired by, individual, like one person. And so just wanted to bring that up for possible discussion.
So that's maybe a bylaws. It sounds like David might be planning a bylaws committee meeting. I don't know. I don't know if that'd be. Oh, maybe so. All right. Anybody else then? All business. Okay. Our question. New business.
I have a couple of things, Jeremy.
Yeah.
May 29th at 11 o'clock at Peace Plaza, 11th day, 11th hour for the memorial service. If you're available, it would be nice if we have a good turnout. Turnout seems to be getting better every year, which is a good sign. And the other thing is I want to congratulate Phyllis Nastasio, better known as Tiz. She's being honored tomorrow night as one of the 50 influential women in the Bronx. So congratulations to her and good luck tomorrow at Maestros. That's it.
Thank you.
Isn't there another? I mean, isn't Bernadette, the chair, also being honored?
Oh, Bernadette's being honored. Yes.
I don't know. She wasn't listed in the paper, so I'm not sure whether that was an older one that she was honored before. I'm not sure. I have the paper. We just got it yesterday, and she's not listed, so I'm really not sure about that.
I think I know what's going on there, but I'm not going to speak on it. I will say that she was honored at the breakfast, the precinct council breakfast, in addition to 2 former board members we're also honored at that breakfast that some of you attended. So, any other new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
I
Any
second.
against? Any
Everyone,
abstention? Discussion?
Night, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good night,
Have a
everybody.
good night.
everyone have a
Night,
great
everybody.
Stay safe the
Memorial Day
weekend.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
All right. 9:15, the meeting ended. All right, Harriet? Spray left. I don't blame her. Good night, Beth.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone. Go to sleep.
Miguel, you have your hand up? Christine, you have your hand up? No. All right.